Breath of heaven. Act I, shadows of doubt. The seminary corridors felt like rivers of silence, stretching into eternity with a hushed reverence. The thick tapestries absorbing my footfalls as though the very walls conspired to keep my presence a secret. Dust motes swirled in the last light of the setting sun, casting long shadows through stained glass windows, turning the hallway into a kaleidoscope of vivid orange and deep blues. My heart felt like a tangled mess, akin to the trees outside whipped by a restless wind. Doubts crowded my mind, their presence insistent and unyielding, as if the very air I breathed was tainted with uncertainty. Father Michael, the old priest sat in calm repose on the chapel's oak bench, his eyes half open, the very picture of serene contemplation. His presence was as familiar and enduring as the flickering lamp above the tabernacle, a steady flame, barely wavering, yet undeniably alive. Father, I called softly, uncertain if my voice was a disruption or a plea. He opened his eyes but remained silent, inviting me to speak or to fall into the silence with him. His calm demeanor and unspoken assurance that the sacred space held room for both. I slumped beside him, the weight of my doubts pressing heavily on my shoulders. Does God really hear us? Or am I just talking into the wind? He lifted a wrinkled hand, more eloquent in its silence than any words could ever be. A gentle invitation to explore the deeper questions of the soul. The chapel's air was thick with an ancient reverence, and I felt the weight of it settling around me. I closed my eyes, willing myself to pray, but the words tangled like fish in a net, elusive and slippery in the face of my uncertainties. Later, alone in my room, the familiar surroundings offered little comfort. I fell to my knees, feeling the cool touch of the wooden floor through the thin fabric of my trousers. The shadows crept in even here, though the pale glow from the window stretched across the floor like a gentle reminder of day. A crisis loomed, my heart heavy with unanswered questions. With hands folded tightly in an almost desperate clasp, I sought solace in the act of prayer. Lord of mercy, I whispered, my voice a mere breath in the quiet room. If you are truly there, hear my cry, I'm drowning in doubt. Show me that my prayers are more than empty echoes. I remained still listening, the silence a thick, expectant blanket. The world outside fell away, leaving just my breathing and the faint rustle of trees beyond the window. For the first time it felt less like a ritual and more a raw, unguarded plea. A begging for an answer, for a sign that I was heard. The next evening, drawn by an inexplicable pull, I returned to the chapel I sat, my focus drawn to the lamp's small flame. Father Michael was there as always, a silhouette serene against the gathering dusk, offering a quiet companionship that asked for nothing in return. This time I sought no words from him. Instead I I settled silently at the altar's foot, letting my breathing match the rhythm of my heart. As I watched the flame, its steady flicker, whisper to my spirit, let prayer be your breathing. A thought intruded, soft as a dawn breeze. It wasn't an audible voice, but a whisper in my soul, an echo of the divine that stirred something deep within. I close my eyes, surrendering to the gentle urging, shepherd of my soul. I pray the words unhurried, each syllable a step in faith. Guide me not just in sound, but in silence. Teach me to listen. An unexpected peace washed over me, gentle yet profound, as if the air itself had cleared. When I opened my eyes, the chapel seemed different, more alive, more sacred, every shadow and beam of light a testament to the presence I had longed to feel. As if my own eyes had finally seen it for the sanctuary it truly was. The turning prayer. I unclenched my hands, releasing the tension I'd carried for far too long. This prayer came from the heart. Holy One, take my uncertainties, I surrender them. Fill me with courage to walk where your light leads. A warmth spread within, a gentle flame inside mirrored by the lamp above, offering a silent promise of divine companionship. Rising, I felt lighter, each step forward, leaving the weight of doubt behind. Father Michael caught my eye, a knowing glint in his gaze, though he spoke not a word. His presence affirmed what my heart had finally discerned, that God spoke in whispers and breaths of prayer, in light, fluttering in silence. Beneath the smoke-clouded sky, the fire's aftermath resembled a battlefield. Blackened beams and the scent of charred wood clinging to the air. Dust descended, painting the sky deep purple and crimson, as though the heavens mourned with the weary city. Firefighter Jake stood at the edge of what once was a home, his smoke-stained jacket a testament to the battle fought against the flames. His eyes lingered on the ashen remnants of a life spirited away by the blaze. Amidst the ruins, his gaze found a sodden scrap of paper, a child's drawing miraculously unharmed. A simple house, a family, stick figure smiling under a bright sun, embodying innocence lost amidst chaos. Jake's heart twisted with survivor's guilt. Kneeling, he reached out, fingers brushing over the uneven lines of the child's art, feeling a connection to a life untouched by darkness. His eyes closed against tears, seeking solace in a whispered prayer. Lord of mercy, guide me through this darkness. Lift this burden from my heart. Could I have done more? His words were swallowed by the silence. life a prayer in itself, yearning for peace. Night descended gently, wrapping the city in quiet, with rain veiling the streets, casting shadows in the glow of streetlights. Jake wandered through the neighborhood, each footstep a muted echo on the wet pavement, the rhythmic patter of rain, a reminder of cleansing and renewal. He carried the child's drawing in his pocket, a reminder of lost innocence. His mind replayed the blazes, chaotic dance, the symphony of despair, refusing to fade. Posing beneath the streetlight, rain mingling with his tears, his heart torn between despair and belief in a higher purpose. He prayed again, Holy One, what is your will for me? Teach me where to begin. The rain seemed to soften, acknowledging his plea with tender caresses. In the profound stillness, Jake felt a nudge, a whisper in his heart, as if God spoke through the rain. It wasn't in grand gestures that peace would be found, but in small acts of love. Begin with the neighbor, came the impression, a quiet certainty settling over him like a warm blanket. His spirit lifted, he turned his gaze to the houses lining the street. Windows glowed with warm light, families huddled together, connected by unseen threads of community. Jake's path led him to a doorstep where light spilled into the night, casting a gentle glow. He hesitated before knocking. The door creaked open, revealing a woman's weary face. Her eyes widened in recognition. I'm Jake, faltered but pressed on, buoyed by divine guidance. I'm here to help, whatever you need. Eyes softened, a smile breaking through her hesitation, a flicker of hope kindled. We'd appreciate that we're gathering supplies for those displaced by the fire. Come in. As Jake stepped inside, he sensed welcome. The scent of baking bread mingling with rain-kissed air, promising healing. Children played nearby, their laughter a balm, a melody of renewal amidst ashes here, amidst lives untouched by despair. He found the beginning of healing through service, through compassion flowing freely. In the days that followed, Jake worked tirelessly, hands and heart open to those in need. He joined in rebuilding not just homes but hopes, each nail driven a testament to resilience. Each act of kindness chipped away at the weight he carried, revealing a soul renewed, forgiven and free. He understood now he did not walk alone. The shepherd of his soul would guide him through the darkest valleys, ensuring light found its way into the shadows. Lord of all compassion, teach me to see with your eyes, to love with your heart, to serve with open hands. Lead me ever in your light. Healing. candle defies the night. Act I, the city beneath the rain. Rain patters gently against the cracked sidewalk, tapping a rhythm that speaks of secrets and forgotten hopes. Each drop seems to mourn with the city, as if the heavens are weeping softly over the buildings, their tears sliding down glass panes and pooling on the streets. I stand at the bus stop, my coat heavy from the dampness, clinging to me like an unseen shroud of unspoken worries and dreams deferred. My eyes are drawn to the mirrored neon lights that flicker and dance in the puddles at my feet. The color of reflections a stark contrast to the monochrome reality that envelops me beyond. The city hums with a mix of despair and resilience, its soul both battered and enduring. These raindrops are conduits for whispered prayers, each rising unseen into the fabric of the night, a tapestry woven from thousands of silent petitions. I lower myself onto the cold, unforgiving metal bench, its chill biting through my clothes and settling into my bones. I close my eyes, seeking solace in the internal landscape of memory. An old psalm whispers in my mind, a fragment of a father's lullaby sung in times long past, a distant echo of comfort. The Lord is my light and my salvation, whom shall I fear? I breathe deep, the scent of wet asphalt mingling with the faint aroma of street food from a vendor cart nearby, the air pregnant with nostalgia. Feet splash through puddles nearby, some hurried, others aimless, their movements illustrated against the backdrop of the night. Saturated with the smell of rain-soaked memories, I bow my head, my hands clasped tightly, and in the sacred solitude of my heart, I call out, Holy One, I am lost. Show me a way forward. The silence settles around me, heavy and waiting, filled with the unspoken hopes of generations past, a quiet communion with the divine. The bus pulls away, a blur of taillights disappearing into the mist like embers in the night sky. I am left alone, the rain now a gentle caress that weaves through hair and spirit, tender in its persistence. Desperation tugs at me, relentless as the drumming rain, a murmur that refuses to be silenced. The cracked stairwell leading to my apartment looms ahead, its edges softened by the night, a refuge and a prison in equal measure. I linger there, the concrete rough beneath my fingertips, grounding me in the present yet calling me to reflection. Images flash before my eyes. A harsh word spoken in haste, a friendship shattered by anger. The jagged shards of what once was whole I sink onto the steps, my voice barely a whisper against the night, trembling in its vulnerability. Lord of mercy, I've hurt those I love, can you mend what I've broken? My breath shivers in the cool air, mingling with the rhythm of the night, as if seeking the harmony of a benevolent answer. In the quiet, a warmth unfurls within me, a pinpoint of light that pushes against the encroaching darkness. A thought, unbidden yet clear, presses into my heart. Forgive as you are forgiven. The rain is gentle now, a rhythm in harmony with my own surrender. A celestial lullaby soothing the tempest within, each drop a note in a symphony of grace.
The dawn breaks a soft gold that banishes the shadows of the night, spilling over the city like grace undeserved yet freely given. I rise from the steps, every fiber of my being tingling with new resolve. The streets glisten, washed fresh by the night's baptism, and I breathe in the cool morning air, crisp with the promise and renewal. The scent of hope mingled with the earth, a palpable will testament to fresh beginnings. I make my way to her door, my footsteps echoing against the softened cityscape. Each step a prayer, each heartbeat a hymn of reconciliation. The act of knocking feels monumental, a bridge built on vulnerability and courage, a testament to faith in what cannot yet be seen. She opens the door, surprise flickering across her features, melting into an expectant pause. Her eyes mirrored pools of past hurts and hopes meet mine, a connection forged in shared silence, and a narrative rewritten in the space between heartbeats. I'm sorry, I say the words, simple yet profound, a gift offered with all the sincerity I possess, a candle held against the night. Her gaze softens, and the warmth in her smile mirrors the dawn, a new beginning. We stand there, a fragile piece unfurling between us, like a delicate flower daring to bloom in a concrete jungle, a testament to the power of grace and the promise of redemption. Shepherd of my soul, guide my steps. Your light remains when darkness falls. Heal what's broken, kindle.
sanctuary. The cathedral stands majestic against the setting sun, its spires reaching up to pierce the dusky sky. As if striving to touch the heavens, I arrive for my night shift, feeling winter's chill gnawing at my fingertips. The cold seems to seep through even the thickness of my gloves as I grip the handle of the wrought iron gate. It creaks open with a familiar groan, a sound that resonates in the quiet street, underscoring the solitude of my entrance. Inside the cathedral is a world of shadows and soft echoes, a serene yet solemn fortress that guards its secrets well. My mop bucket clatters across the worn stone floor, the sound reverberating amidst the pews that sit patiently empty, each one a silent witness to countless whispered prayers and unspoken hopes. As I work, I occasionally paused to admire the play of orange light through the stained glass windows, which are now illuminated by the final rays of the setting sun. The glass, meticulously crafted, tells stories of faith, sacrifice, and redemption, painting these sacred narratives across the silent walls in hues that dance with the fading daylight. This place is timeless, a repository of countless souls' yearnings, yet every corner feels unfamiliar to me, a stranger in its sacredness. Despite the routine of my task, the organ hums gently to life, a low reverent note that fills the space with an anticipatory hush, a sound warming up for tomorrow's worship, a cycle as eternal as the rising sun. Each night the same anxious thought visits me. Despite the hours spent here, I still feel like an outsider to its holy embrace, like someone perpetually on the threshold of something beautiful yet distant. Backseat crisis prayer beneath the rose window. I kneel beneath the great rose window, an architectural marvel whose brilliance now fades to monochrome under the encroaching night. Its intricate designs, once vibrant with color, are veiled in twilight, creating an ethereal tapestry that seems to contain all of history's echoes. My breath is visible in the cool air, a fleeting cloud of warmth that vanishes as I whisper my distress. Lord of mercy, I feel so alone in your house. How do I belong where my heart feels misplaced? The silence that follows is not empty, it is dense with an unspoken presence, as though the ancient stones themselves hold their breath, listening intently. My prayer hangs in the air like a fragile thread, and I am left to contend with the echo of mop water and the faint rustle of unseen ropes, a sound that often makes me wonder if I'm truly alone. I wait heart tight with expectation, hoping to feel a shift, a sign, something, anything to ease the gnawing sense of being adrift in a sea of sanctity. Turning in the stillness, the night deepens, wrapping the cathedral in a deeper silence. And I find myself drawn irresistibly to the altar, where a single flickering flame of a devotional candle holds its solitary vigil. Its light is warm against the encroaching dark, casting gentle dancing shadows that seem to leap across the altar's polished surface. Here I kneel once more, but this time the noise within me begins to quiet down. Shepherd of my soul, I breathe into the stillness. Guide me from the shadows into your light. Teach me to listen for your voice in my restless heart. In that moment of surrender, as if responding to a silent call, a warmth unfurls within me, soft as spring's breath upon winter's lingering chill. It's a gentle urging, an invitation to carry a quiet prayer with me through each action, to weave it into the rhythm of my duties, into each sweep of the mop and every moment of stillness. This is prayer transformed, not as a separate act, but as a seamless extension of my very being. The echo of transformation as I rise from my kneeling place, the sense of isolation ebbs. Like the retreating tide, its grip on my heart, loosening at last.
The hospital night held a sacred quiet, rain tapping softly against the large glazed windows, tracing languid rivulets in the glow of the distant streetlights. The polished floor mirrored faint reflections of those passing by. A subtle dance of light and shadow. Alex sat slumped in a chair, face buried in his hands, the contours of his shoulders heavy with the weight of his world. His heart churned with a tempest of anxiety, a maelstrom of fear and uncertainty. Yet, the air around him carried a sterile hope, a promise of rebirth echoing with the faint beeping of machines that stood as silent sentinels to life. Nearby, a warm lamp stood sentinel, casting a soft, gentle light over his turmoil to Alex. It was a tender hand resting on his shoulder, offering a sliver of comfort in the engulfing shadows. He glanced at the lamp, seeking solace, took a deep breath and closed his eyes, retreating within himself to find peace. His heart whispered prayers, earnest and raw, a plea rising from the depths of his soul to the open heavens. God, Lord of mercy, his heart cried, I feel lost and afraid, please guide me. Across the hall, Nurse Sarah moved quietly, her gentle steps barely audible in the enveloping stillness. Her compassionate eyes met his, a silent acknowledgement of his struggle. Her presence a soft assurance in the solitary vigil, silently reminding him that he was not alone.
A gentle revelation, time unfurled with the rain's gentle serenade against the window panes. The clock's slow hands ticked in concert with Alex's anxious heartbeat, each second measured in breaths rather than time. A comforting memory emerged from the turbulent depths, a verse from Psalm 23, like a life preserver tossed into stormy waters. The lamp flickered slightly, its warm glow enveloping him in a cocoon of golden light. Within, Alex felt a divine whisper coursing through the tendrils of his troubled heart, softening and guiding him. He straightened in his seat, his breathing even, a realization dawning, the call to defend truth, but with kindness was his path forward. He eyed his phone, it screen dark and foreboding, yet courage blossomed in the faint reflection of his own eyes. He prepared for a momentous prayer, a conversation with God that would fortify his soul. Shepherd of my soul, I give you my fears. He whispered, his voice barely more than a breath, weaving faith and hope around his heart. Grant me courage to reconcile, to speak truth with love. Help me to reach out in humility. The atmosphere shifted imperceptibly, the air growing thick with promise and possibility. As Sarah passed by with a soft smile, it was a reminder of unseen acts of grace, fluttering just beyond sight, ready to alight in their own time.
The call of reconciliation. With courage as his armor, Alex dialed a number he'd long avoided, his fingers lingering over each digit, embedding them with silent prayers. The ring resonated in his ear, each tone matching the anxious rhythm of his heart. The phone's cool metal served as an anchor, grounding him as he prepared to step out in faith. "Hey, it's me," he began softly, his voice trembling, yet sincere, each word a digital prayer sent across the silent waves. "I'm sorry for the silence, I want to make things right." The unfolding conversation held its challenges, terrain rough and uncertain, yet words were carefully weighed, each syllable laying a stone in the rebuilding of a long crumbled bridge. As the call concluded, Alex felt a lightness unfurl within him, a burden lifted by grace, freeing him from the chains he'd carried for too long. Outside, the rain softened to a whisper, as if blessing the renewed bond in its gentle cadence. In the warm, forgiving glow of the lamp, Alex felt transformed by prayer, hope, and love rekindled in the silent vigil of the night.
God of all healing, thank you for guiding my steps. Help me to carry your light into the world, to defend truth, but with the grace of kindness. Keep my heart open to your whispers of wisdom, and guide us all in your everlasting